sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets are in your heart to say, but you don't wanna tell me now. I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. Getting hard to talk to you. Only one speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets are in your heart to say, but you don't wanna tell me now. I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take your best to rest. Whoa, this life is all yours. Whoa, I can't stay if you can't let it go. I never really know what's going on. Even when you're next to me, I feel like you're gone. All the things you never show. There are the things I want.
Hello, BU Nation. How you guys doing? Hope everybody's okay. Boa noite. Good evening. How are things with you back there? Everything's okay here, thank God. Today is May 5th. It's a very special day because that's the day we celebrate the World Portuguese Language Day. Did you know that? Yes. Today is the International Day of the Portuguese Language. But don't worry, I'm not going to start speaking Portuguese here with you guys. This is for the other channel, for Portuguese with Mark Saint, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed there, as I always say at the beginning of our live streams, go there, support the channel, support this guy here that needs your help so much. It's a channel whose focus is not only teach you the Brazilian Portuguese language in a very clear way, because there's a legend there that says that the Portuguese language is really difficult. It is if you're learning through grammar, but if you're learning the way that I teach, which is my own method, then you're gonna be okay. I'm a creator of my own method, my own course, and we completely discard grammar in this context. So go pay a visit to this channel. It's called Portuguese with Mark Saint. I'm gonna leave a link here just to start because I'm using another user. If you come here often, you know what I'm talking about, so I'm sorry if I am repetitive. But if this is your first time, some people are coming for the first time, so I need to say these things. It's always a pleasure to receive new people here, so if you're coming here for the first time, welcome. This is a family, this is a nation that I like to call BU Nation, Brazil Unsubtitled Nation. It's a nation of very nice citizens, very nice people that get together to discuss Brazil among so many other things. So I'm gonna leave my link right here, Portuguese with Mark Saint. I want to start by saying hello to Josh. Josh is very accurate today, very sharp. The guy was here at 6:30 sharp. Josh, hello. Always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Your participation, as you know, is essential for this live stream to go on. Also, we have Tisha. Tisha is with us. Tisha from Bermuda. How are things, Tisha? And we have Saif. Finally, Saif, I can see you. You say that the audio is low. Is anybody else having the same problem there? I like to ask if more people are experiencing the same issue that somebody presents to understand if the problem is here, if the problem is there. So please let me know. I haven't done anything different. No, the mic is in the max. Yeah, since it's the max volume. Let me know if any one of you, Tisha, Josh, tell me if you can hear me low. I have here another phone. No, apparently here, Saif, it's working okay. I have another computer right here connected to the live stream. I can hear perfectly. Take a look at your adjustments. You are here, I can't believe, Saif. I'm sorry if there was any problem that you were talking to us and I couldn't see you. It is low, I just turned up the volume on the TV. Oh, Josh says he can hear me. Finalmente, Saif, very good to have you here, buddy. Saif is a long-time friend. We have known each other for years, maybe 5 years now, I don't know, from the very first beginning. So this guy is a gem for this channel. You're always welcome, Saif. Saif is from Great Britain, from the beautiful London, okay? By the way, I was thinking, this is not the United Nations General Assembly, but we have people from all over. So I want to wait for more people to come and say where you guys are speaking from, because it's a pleasure sometimes talking to people from Scandinavia, from the whole Europe, also Asia, also many Africa, South America. It's very good to see the reach of YouTube. And I'm not going to say the reach of my channel because I wish, right? It's a very small channel. We're still growing. But I'm very happy with how you guys are loyal to my work, are always supporting. So thank you so very much. Deus abençoe vocês. God bless you all. Hoje é dia da língua portuguesa. Today is the day of the Portuguese language. And I have the flags right here. Check it out. Thanks to these guys, we are who we are. Right? So the Portuguese and the Brazilian flag right here. So happy anniversary for the Portuguese language. I can't forget to say this, right? Because such a beautiful language. How many of you study Portuguese? I know Saif is an avid Portuguese student. How many of you have experiences with the Portuguese language? Let me know. I'd like to hear. I want to know what your difficulties are, what you feel when you speak Portuguese, when you listen to Portuguese. It goes without saying that if you want to have success in Brazil, you gotta speak Portuguese. I mean, Brazilians understand the importance of English, of course. That's why I'm a teacher here. I teach English because English is essential for the job interviews and everything else. But not many people speak English. I'm gonna be honest with you. So when you come to the country and you at least have the basis of the language, all things go much better. Saif is always here. He can tell us, right, Saif? What is it like for you to come here knowing some Portuguese? You guys will see that it's necessary. Brazilians are always helpful. They will listen to you and try to help you somehow. But when you master the language or when you have some basis, it's much better. So, how you guys doing? I just want to send some information, right? It's very important that I make some announcements concerning the development of the work here on the channel. The first thing I want to say is if you haven't subscribed, if this is your first time, hello, welcome to this place, welcome to this family, welcome to this nation. This is Brazil Unsubtitled, your channel to get to know all you ever wanted to know about Brazil, but using the English language as the communication language, right? If you want to learn the Brazilian Portuguese, I have a secondary channel called Portuguese with Mark Saint. It's a pleasure to have you there. Even if you don't want to learn the Brazilian Portuguese, go there for you to learn some culture. Because the videos are in English. I explain everything in English, but I teach you the Portuguese language. So it's a good idea to go there. Second thing, and don't take this don't carve this in stone, right? But I try as often as I can to post 3 videos a week. I failed today already, just so you understand. Sometimes it happens because I wear many different hats. It's not only a YouTuber that you're talking to. You're talking to a teacher, you're talking to a father, you're talking to a husband, you're talking to a house husband. I don't know if this word exists. I know housewife. But for example, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw me cooking today, right? So I was cooking today. Meanwhile, I was doing so many other things. So I failed because the videos that I'm editing right now, they demand too much. As you guys are here, I'm going to make it worth, and I'm going to say I'm editing 2 videos. The first one is about the Brazilian participation in the World War II. Yes, we were there fighting alongside the Allies, Great Britain, China, Russia, and the United States of America, among so many other countries. We were there. We were, cross-firing. So it's a very nice story to see how Brazilians gave their lives in order to defend or to protect the world with the other countries, right? So it's a very nice story, but it takes a long time to edit. It requires a lot of footage, so that's why I couldn't post today. The second video I'm posting is I mentioned United Nations at the beginning of the video. So I want to say I'm editing a video about a guy that if he hadn't died, he would have become the Secretary General of the United Nations, and he was Brazilian. His name was Sérgio Vieira de Mello, Celso. Sérgio Vieira de Mello. Actually, he was the reason for me to go to college and study international relations because I wanted to be like him. He was amazing, spoke 6 languages. He was, house husband is very relatable. Yeah. So Sérgio Vieira de Mello spoke 6 languages. He was a Brazilian diplomat, a high commissioner of the United Nations. A very beautiful story. Unfortunately, he was killed in Iraq while he was on a mission that was requested directly by the President of the United States at the time, George W. Bush. And he was sent by George W. Bush to work in Baghdad, and he was killed there on a terrible terrorist attack. A truck bomb exploded and killed him and so many other people. It's a very nice video, but it takes a long time to edit, so I'm sorry. And I'm also, at the same time, as I have said here before, I'm thinking about changing the way that I produce the videos, because I really wanted them to be daily, not only 3 days a week. But for me to do so, I'm going to have to choose from a very lean format of video production. Nothing that it requires too much editing, because honestly, I don't have time for that. So I want to be with you guys every day. I want to talk to you all the time, but on this format, it's virtually impossible. Virtually impossible. It takes up too much of my time to edit. All right, so forgive me. Maybe on Wednesday you guys are going to have the regular programming back and a video back. I should have been speaking Portuguese and Spanish along with English, but trying to learn Duolingo. Oh, Tisha, by the way, Tisha sent me a video about her country of Bermuda. Tisha, I was baffled with the information you have sent me. You live in paradise, Tisha. That's what I think when I see everything that I have seen. You basically live in paradise. I can't imagine waking up in the morning to that scenery. It's just incredible. There's something interesting about our countries, right? And I say countries because other people will also feel the same. They will relate to this, which is like this. On the weekends and holidays, people jump into the car and drive all the way to the beach if they don't live at the beach. I mean, you don't have that problem, I believe, right? You just cross the street or maybe up 2-3 blocks away, and you are in a paradisic, crystal clear water beach. Amazing, amazing the things I've seen. Congratulations. I hope one day I can visit. What is the reason with the very few Brazilians who speak English to the point where speaking English in Brazil is seen? It's nowadays, but it's not privilege. I think, to be honest with you, I think that people have problems with learning the language because of the way it is taught. And take my word for that, because I've been doing this since I was 20. Actually, I have been having contact with the language since I was 10. Okay, I started learning the English language on March, I think March 10th, 1990. Yes, I remember the day. March 10th, 1990. That's when I started taking English classes. And I went all the way for a decade to become fluent. On and off, because sometimes I had to stop due to personal reasons. But I never really give up. Never. I never really gave up. So, but I have all this experience with the schools and being not only a student but also a teacher. And I saw the way things were taught, and I call the classical method. People use the classical method, which is grammar based. And man, it's like teaching quantum physics, in my opinion. You're teaching quantum physics for the people. The way that the language is introduced with all those grammar nomenclatures. Oh, this is a preposition, this is a modal verb. When it's a question, you gotta put the modal verb at the beginning. And if it's does, the verb, Jesus Christ, that's the kind of conversation that people have on language schools. And the funny thing, I'm not even talking about the public schools, because the public school English level is laughable here in Brazil. And I'm talking again about the level of the public schools, because we have a lot of private schools as well, and they might have a different way to teach, but the way the language is taught in public schools is laughable. You learn nothing. You basically get stuck with the verb to be, basically. So there's a lot to do with this, the approach, the way the language is taught. And even though I spent some time, because I started teaching when I was 20, I'm 44 again, so 24 years of experience teaching plus 10 years as a student. Even during the first years, I realized that if I had to speak like I learned, it would take forever. So I was always picking up the topic from the book or off the book and teaching separately just on the board and me, and making different activities to make the guys learn more smoothly and more comfortably. But I think a big problem here is this. The problem is the way that it is taught. And with my school and my new method, I want to break with this, because I believe I have found a way to teach Brazilians in a way that they don't suffer. So it starts from this. And second, Brazilians are sometimes lazy. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe it's just partying, or they believe in a magic formula, like swallowing a pill and becoming fluent. Because everything you're going to learn, you need to dedicate. I speak English because I spent most of my time in my house dedicating to the language and never depended upon the teacher exclusively. So I was always 3 or 4 steps ahead, right? Sometimes I advanced myself on the homework, because I knew that I needed to do something, because the teacher was not solely responsible for what I was going to speak. So it was more up to me than to the others. But unfortunately, Brazilians, they think the teacher has the obligation to I don't know, maybe break their heads open and put the language inside. I don't know, maybe. Tisha is speaking about Bermuda. It is beautiful, but it has been ranked as the most expensive place on earth for several years. Yeah, it was on the video that you showed me. They mentioned that as well. So you started to learn English in the very early 90s, sometime before Brazil got to the international. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I don't know. I think Brazil has been known in the international world for many years, right? For the good and for the bad. I don't think the 90s were the groundbreaking fame of Brazil, you know? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. At least in the 80s, people probably know the infamy of the country because we had a lot of problems, inflation and stuff. Do you want to pass? Say hello to the world, okay? Don't forget. Yeah, Manuela Pires. Manuela Pires. Where are you going?
I'm just gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. Hillbilly, how are you, man? White Mountain Hillbilly. At least in São Paulo, you have many signs and things in English. I went to the barber in São Paulo, and there have been American country music playing. In the United States, we have zero export. Oh, okay. Don't feel bad about it, because why would you have anything in Brazilian, in Portuguese in your country? It doesn't make sense, right? So, Portuguese is which language in terms of being spoken? I know the first one is English, the second is Spanish. Okay, let's not mention Chinese because they have 2 billion people. Yeah, okay, but it's basically a country or 2 or 3. I'm talking about in terms of widespread. English is number 1, second is Spanish, third one is French, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about Portuguese. I think I could check here. Well, according to the AI from Google, Portuguese ranks 8th among the most spoken languages in the world. It is estimated to have around 266.6 million speakers. Yeah, my job is to change that. Through my company, I'm going to start teaching Portuguese to the whole world. So we have the 10 most spoken languages in the world from Babbel. It's a report from Babbel. Let's see. Number 1, Chinese, of course, in terms of number of people. Okay, I understand. 1.3 billion native speakers. Number 2, Spanish. Spanish is ahead of English. 486 million native speakers. Third, English, 380 million native. Okay, we're talking about native speakers, right? If you talk about world in general, English is number 1. Number 4, Arabic, 362 million native speakers. The 5th position is Hindi, 345 million native speakers. Obviously, I'm talking about India. Bengali, number 6, 237 million native speakers. Number 7, the Portuguese language, 236 million native speakers. I know, obviously, today English has more non-native speakers speaking the language than native speakers. I've heard this somewhere. Very hard to learn in any case, though. So you spend a lot of time learning the language, not sitting down and playing video games all day. I'm a nerd, what can I say, Josh? Actually, I think the secret of success lies in the balance, right? I got some friends that will say, oh, I remember Mark, like Saturday mornings, Mark with his folder and his books going to language school. Some people will say that, and others will say, yeah, but he was always playing soccer with us on the street as well. So I think the secret for me was always balance. I went to school, a language school. Okay, my father paid me private class, not private, but classes in a language school. By the way, I think Brazil is the number one country in terms of English schools, like English language schools. Those schools only to teach you the language. I know two guys here that are billionaire just because they sell English courses, just so you understand. So I always try to balance. And one thing I put in my head is I never wanted to suffer to learn. First, I had passion for the language. This goes a long way. But I never wanted to suffer. I wanted to learn the language smoothly, easily. And I knew that for me to do that, I had to live the language. I think it really startled me when I realized, man, I'm poor. My father is middle class to low, and he doesn't have money to send me to Disney World like a friend of mine could go. He can't send me abroad. So what am I gonna do? If I cannot go to the United States, I will bring the US back to my house. That was a pact that I had with myself when I was 11 years old. Believe me. 11 years old. I said to myself, if I cannot go to the United States, I'm gonna bring the United States into my house. Meaning that everything I read from now on is gonna be in English. Everything I listen to is gonna be in English. So if there's a movie on TV, they already had a button called SAP, which was Second Audio Program. We clicked on the SAP, and it would change immediately to English, to the original sound. And I would spend hours watching those movies, sometimes without understanding much. I remember I watched Ariel and the Little Mermaid, and the whole movie I understood a question. What are you doing? It's like Ariel was under the sink searching for something, and a woman comes and she says, what are you doing? I was so happy because I understood that. But the rest I didn't. So it took me a while for me to practice and listen and listen and listen and listen. But I never gave up. And I never had that anxiety that students do have. That is, I want to understand. Sometimes I send exercises, listening exercises to students. And the first thing they tell me, teacher, I didn't understand much. And I say, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to listen. Understanding is a consequence of listening. So I made that very clear for my students from day one. And I do that with my Brazilian Portuguese students. If I showed you, I had a class last Saturday with a group from New York. If I showed you the level of these guys, you cry. A year and a half studying Brazilian Portuguese with me. You cry if you listen to the guys. The guys speak Portuguese for 2 hours straight. And they are on the second book. Not even at the end. They are on the second book. It's incredible. So everything is dedication, Josh. Everything is how much do you want something. You know, I saw something about Ayrton Senna, again talking about him, because it's the month of his death, right? So I watched a lot of things. And his sister gave an interview, and she said that Ayrton Senna, at the beginning, he had a lot of problems to run or to race under the rain. When it was raining, he was always, swerving and sometimes leaving the competition because he had an accident or something. So he put in his head that he needed to be really good at it. So whenever it started to rain São Paulo, he would call his father and say, I'm going to the kart, to the go-go kart racing. And he would run for hours under the rain, very heavy rain. No wonder he won so many races as a professional under the rain. So that was a very nice lesson for me because I lived this, but as an English student. Because I dedicated so much to listening, to watching, to consuming the language. It became part of who I am. Some people don't believe this, but when I am working on my finances and I am making notes on the things that I spend and what I receive, I write in English the entries. So the entries are written in English. Instead of putting, for example, agua, I put water. Why? Because it's in my brain already. It's part of who I am, you know. And I have a daughter who speaks English with me 24 hours a day. She doesn't speak Portuguese because I conditioned her from the womb, from when she was inside my wife's belly, to listen to my voice in English. And we never speak Portuguese, so English becomes condition, becomes muscle memory. That's what I preach to my students. Muscle memory is the secret of success. That's what Ayrton Senna did to become who he was, you know. Man, I hope to be like Mark in 10 years with Portuguese. Thank you. Are you studying Portuguese? Do you take classes? You can always call me and we can talk about my course free of charge. You don't have to commit to anything. I can introduce to you the course, and then you tell me if you want to stay, okay? Some teachers in São Paulo from England, they teach at the English schools and they make muito dinheiro, mano. A lot of money, bro. I think you are talking, Hillbilly, are you talking about language schools or are you talking about international schools? Because São Paulo is a very rich city. I think you guys know that, right? São Paulo, and I'm not bragging about my city, I'm just telling you the reality. São Paulo has a bigger GDP than Argentina, just so you understand, and a bigger industrial market as well. And it's a state, right? So we have schools in Brazil that are American. For example, students from the elite here of São Paulo, they send their kids to those schools. I'm not going to say names here, but they send those kids to those schools and they learn the subjects in English. The only difference is the geography. They're not inside the United States of America or England. They're inside Brazil. But everything is American or everything is international. So the syllabus is abroad, from abroad. The topics are from abroad. The teachers are not Brazilians, they're foreigners in its majority. So if you're talking about this, they might make a lot of money, yes. Because everybody pays a lot of money. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, the monthly payment is about 15 to 20 grand, something like this. Reais. But can you imagine paying 15,000 reais per month for your student to go to an American school inside Brazil? And I think São Paulo has 7 of those. 7 schools like this. Not to mention the lower ones, like Maple Bear from Canada exists in Brazil, but it's cheaper than those that I'm talking about. There's so many. Did you get access to English language materials since Brazil had import taxes, making these materials very expensive? Well, when I started studying the English language, I started in 1990. We had hyperinflation, but somehow, not everything was like super expensive to import, right? Maybe importing was cheap because the currency was very undervalued. So we had a very low value. So, I know actually if it has a low value, importing becomes expensive. You're right. But I don't know. The materials were not that expensive because we have partnerships, right? The presses in Brazil have partnerships with the presses abroad, like Cambridge University Press. They end up sending the material in containers in big quantities, but I have all the books. By the way, I got 2 books I want to show you. Give me just a second. I'm going to show you 2 of these books. It's from my high, intermediate, and advanced levels. I'll be right back. So you're making your monthly payment budget in English. Yeah, I make everything in English. Charles, first of all, hello. You said hello. I didn't. I'm sorry. I make everything in English. Everything that I write, my notes, the things that I have to remember. I'm trying to get something here. I'll give you an example just for you to see that I'm not with jibber jabber. This is an example of a financial thing that I write. Take a look. The magic formula. So 70% to live today, 55 for the essential things you can't live without, 5% education, books, 10% to do whatever you want, 30% for long, medium term projects. So things like this, my notebooks, I always write in English. I have chosen English as my favorite language. I love Portuguese, don't get me wrong, but I have a passion for the English language that is beyond the explainable, you know. I think it's intrinsic. So I remember going to London, and after being 10 days among Germany, Czech Republic, and Austria, and when I listened to the English language, my body, I sighed. It was like a relief. And then, but it was something unconscious. I didn't even do that on purpose. And I said, why? Why did I feel relief if this is not my first language? Because I have been using this language for many, many years, you know. So let me answer a few of your messages, and then I will show you the book. Did you, for example, go into Guyana to even learn English at the time, since you have one country that speaks English? Not at all, Josh. Josh, take a look at the map, my brother. Pick up a Brazilian map there, please. Compare São Paulo to Guyana. It's very far, so... Your tablet is here? Where? Which tablet? Oh, really? Mommy unblocked? Huh? So Guyana is very far away, Josh. I didn't get the plane. It was too far. And remember, I came from a middle class to low family, so didn't live in the slums. But we lived in the suburbs of a city. And suburbs in Brazil is different from the American one. Just want to make it clear. So no, I nothing never lacked for me. I had good food, a good house, good education, but we didn't have for more than that. So imagine taking the plane. The first time I took the plane, I was 20 years old when I took the plane for the first time. My father was like this: okay, I don't have conditions to give you all these things, but I will give you conditions to get for yourself. And I love him for that. You know? This is one of the reasons I love him the most. Because he said, I'll give you the chance. I will give you the conditions for you to fish. I'm not going to give you the fish. So. There are professors that teach English in a São Paulo school. I think he said maybe it's international. Yeah, but that's for sure. That's for sure. He works for an international school. He said he makes at least $100,000 a year. Wow. Yeah, because look, we're talking about a school that charges per head close to 20,000. And if he works in the biggest and the strongest school, you have to give a down payment of 40 grand, and then you pay 15 every month. 40 grand just to be enrolled. So yeah, I think it's possible to pay $100,000 for your friend. You technically didn't need to bring the United States to Brazil, technically speaking, if you want to speak English, since you have Guyana hosts. Yeah, bringing the United States to Brazil is a way to say, my reference was the United States because of the culture, right? You probably are aware of the power of the soft power, the American soft power. People mention a lot the hard power, the military, but people forget the soft power. Hollywood, buddy, is a topic of discussion in this country. If you go into channels that are for nerds, like Marvel and this, it's just English, just about. I mean, it's in Portuguese, but they discuss Marvel, they discuss DC, they discuss Hollywood. They hardly ever will mention a Brazilian movie. Okay, it's in the culture. Okay. Guyana, Brazilians have no idea at where Guyana is. You try to ask on the streets. Where is Guyana? What language do they speak? No idea. With all due respect for the Guyanese. I was about to say that the American suburbs are better off, but just as lightly. Just as lightly? No, very much. Charles, the word suburb in Portuguese and in Brazil has a different connotation. When you say subúrbio, você está falando de área pobre. You're talking about poor areas. You're talking about middle class areas, okay? When you talk about suburbs in the United States, you're talking about what we have here called Alphaville. Alphaville, as the name says, Alphaville. In Portuguese we say Alphaville, which are for the rich and famous. That big house with no fences, grass, the American standard. We have this here, but they belong to the rich. The Brazilian suburbs is poor, right? We're talking about people who take the bus to go to work, work their rears off in order to provide for their kids. That's the suburbs in Brazil. $100,000 to teach English in Brazil? Man, I'm in the wrong profession. Yeah, buddy. Yes. I remember Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes says, everybody sees, but nobody observes. So the difference that I see and I observe. So you gotta look around and look for opportunities. I always say Americans are very much respected in this country in general. And they will find something to do in Brazil. That's for sure. That's for sure. Especially teaching the English language. You don't have to speak Portuguese extremely well either. But just a second, Hillbilly. He teaches in an international school where Portuguese is not the language, right? It's English. So why asking people to speak slower? No, Josh, no. No dialect. Brazil is isolated from the rest of the continent. It's like there was a wall. I mean, we exchange cultures. Yes, we receive them a lot. We travel to their countries a lot. But culturally, we are turning to ourselves. I've already said that to you guys. Now, look, let's, Josh, let's try to be clear here. We have to be careful with generalizations, okay? I'm not saying everybody don't know or everybody doesn't know. I'm saying some people might not know where Guyana is, or a lot of people might not know. But you will definitely find one or another that will say, okay, I know where it is, I know the language, I know the capital. I don't like generalizations. I think they're stupid, I think they're wrong as well, because how can I generalize 212 million people? It's a lot of people for you to generalize. For you to say every Brazilian is fat, or every Brazilian is shredded, or every Brazilian is poor, or every Brazilian doesn't speak English, or come on, we have different scenarios in one place, right? It's a melting pot, I would say. Let me just check the population of Brazil, because I always say 212, and am I saying that correct? Yeah, it says here in 2025, 212.8 million people. The last survey discovered that. Geneviero Wiro Carso. Hello, hi Geneviero. How are you, man? How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. We are debating languages here because today is the official international day for the Portuguese language. I was going to say Brazilian Portuguese, but the guys are going to hate us if I say that, because even though the Brazilian Portuguese is the most spoken language, Portuguese version is nowadays, they were the creators. So, yes. Relatively speaking, that is exactly, Josh. Isolated and Brazil first. I think Brazilians are very open for new cultures, and remember I told you guys that last meeting that we had on Friday, that Brazilians absorb other cultures really well. There are ignorant people everywhere, rude people everywhere. Some people will maybe mistreat others, but in general, I don't think other nationals have too much trouble living here. If you guys are watching and you have you can say otherwise, please step up and share your experience with us. It's very important. As far as I know, and I talk to a lot of people, normally Brazilians absorb other cultures. So, but what happens is, in many areas of the country, Brazilians love their culture so much, they won't look at others. Or if they do, it's basically Hollywood and some other things. But in general, the movies, and like the Cariocas love the funk, they love their music, they love their beach, they love their lives. And I have a lot of American friends who go to Rio a lot, and they say that to me. It's not me saying that. That, oh, my friends, they don't care about speaking English. It's like they are busy enjoying their culture. They're busy enjoying their country. And it doesn't sound arrogant because they don't mistreat others because of that. Oh, so you're not from here, get out. No, that doesn't happen. But they say, join us in our joy, in our happiness. But we are ourselves enjoying this. If you don't want to enjoy with us, we will do the same. So basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Como vai, Geneviero? I think you have been to this chat before, right? If I'm not mistaken. Tell me where you're from, please. I think we have talked before, because I remember your first name. Suriname. Oh yeah, that's the guy from Suriname. I remember now. There's a lot of Brazilian Portuguese speakers. Very nice. Very nice. I love this chat. I was telling you this at the beginning, guys. We have people from all over the world. That's very nice. The other day, a guy from Norway was talking to us. And then the other Sweden, I receive messages from the Netherlands a lot, from Holland, right? The Netherlands, the country. And sometimes from France, sometimes from even Tokyo, Japan. There is one that was, Bangladesh. Bangladesh because of the video that I made. Yeah, I was very much watched there. By the way, Argentina watched that video that I posted about the clash between Argentina and Brazil in Bangladesh, and they jacked up my numbers, guys. You don't believe this, but I was looking at the YouTube analytics. The second people to have watched my videos the most last month were the Argentinians, probably because of I will make more videos about Argentina. Oh, the Norwegian is still here. Garvar, yay! Thank you, buddy, for stepping up. I love you guys. That's what I'm saying. Garvar is always with us. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here. Very good, buddy. Norway. The other day was Sweden. That was a guy from Sweden that mentioned his country a lot to me. That he said, "Oh, I love Brazil." Yeah, very funny, very interesting. Guys, I know Brazil is hated by some people because they will tendentiously look to a few aspects. I don't know why. Because I know we have problems, and I know some people prefer to look at these things than the good things, right? But in general, people love Brazil, and that's what I love. I was looking at there was a survey the other day on the internet that was saying the most hated countries in the world, and they put Argentina on the list. And that's very complicated because I was watching this from an Argentinian channel with people speaking about this, but the people were nationals, Argentinian nationals. And they talked more about Brazil than about Argentina. So they said, oh, look, Brazil no está na lista. Brazil is not on the list. Oh, of course, Brazil is amazing, blah, 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 blah. Maybe because we are so proud of ourselves and people take this the wrong way, they were saying. But I normally see that people have a very good appreciation for Brazil, and that's what I love about it, you know. That's why I wanted to open this channel, because I wanted to show you guys the reality of this country from a Brazilian, and the good things we have as well, right? We have a lot of good things, a lot of things that work. The other day I went for my document, and I booked it online, and it came out on the same day, guys. Not the printed version, but they said, look, give us a week, but we will make the digital available on the app. We have an app called gov.br that is for the Brazilians. Everything we need is inside. Our documents, our vaccinations, everything is just in one app. We just go click and we show. And it's valid legally. So if the police pulls our car over, we just show the digital version. Okay, right. So everything's there with the marks and stuff. So I wanted to show you this, right? The Brazil works very much. So and the problems that we have, I want to be part of the solution. And allow me to talk about Ayrton Senna again, because I spent the whole weekend watching videos and stuff. He's still in my head. He was a patriot when it was hard to be a patriot. It's very easy to thank God when your stomach is full, when your house is beautiful, when you sleep in a comfortable bed. But to do that when things are hard, it's not for everyone. And the people who do are very special. And Ayrton Senna was a patriot when it was very hard for us to say we were Brazilians. And he exhibited the symbol, the flag, with a lot of pride. So I always remember this. And one of the things I want to do with my channel, I want to open a charity connected to the channel for me to help kids, for me to do. I know I shouldn't be saying this because this is very private, but I want to do this. I want to be part of the solution because of the problems I know. So I would be crazy to be talking about the problems, wasting my time on the problems. No, I need to waste my time on this, or to use up my time on the solution. And I want to be part of the solution. I want to walk on the streets and pick up paper that I see there, people littering. I want to pick up and throw in the trash. Right? I want to return money that I receive more. Right? I want to return. I want to be honest. I want to do these things. I want to make Brazil work. Right? I was born in this country. I have to be thankful. I have to thank God for this opportunity. Right? We are not the best nation in the world in very many aspects, but I'm so proud of all the things we have accomplished. And because of guys who think like this, we have a better country today. Fernando Henrique Cardoso never gave up, became the president and changed our situation. He changed our fate. He destroyed the dragon of hyperinflation. Not to mention so many other people who have done great things. Every country have, I'm pretty sure if you heard of Guyana news lately, for example, you'd probably see the Guyana had problems. Everywhere, Josh. The United States has a lot of problems too. Canada has a lot of problems too. There is no paradise on earth, buddy. Not at all. You know why? Because we're humans. Humans are flawed in our essence. From my observation, any American that has been to Brazil has always said great things about the country. The Brazilian people are what makes the country great. Yeah, very interesting, buddy. Very interesting that you say that, Charles. Charles has been with us for many years as well. Thank you very much for your presence here all the time. I want to say that, and I've said that before. What are you looking for when you come to Brazil, right? Do you want money? Do you want advances, future technologies? Go somewhere else, right? And I say this from the bottom of my heart, no harm intended, okay? Go somewhere else. Because what counts for us is the human capital. Is that person that says hello to you in the morning when you were walking on the street. Is that friend that you make very easily on the bus. Or that guy from your job that will invite you for a soccer game after work, after the work shift. Or maybe to drink some beers and talk about life. And you guys will have the time of your lives. You have a blast, you laugh. You will go home revigorated. You will think that even though the office is hard, things are crazy, Brazil is still worth it. Life is still worth it because you got good friends that invite you for a pagode at the end of the day, for you to dance and drink and talk to the girls and to the guys and have fun. And if you are too drunk, they will carry you by grabbing you on the shoulder. That's what you need to see when you come here. You need to see that Brazilians don't stop smiling. I'm very philosophical today, I'm sorry. Brazilians don't stop smiling even though we face hell. We changed the president because the president lured us into a new format, a new thing, and then the guy lets us down. That's what we live on a regular basis. The guy promises the world, we study his life, okay, this one is going to be different. He goes there, does nothing. So even though we have problems, we have to face violence in a few capitals. We have to worry about our cell phone on the table. We still love this place because we love to make friends. We love to have people around. You'll never see a Brazilian alone on the weekend, only if he wants to. Call a few people and say, let's have some barbecue in my house. So if you're looking for human warmth, that's your place. Combined with a country that fights to grow, to find its place in the system. Because we want to be a player as well. We don't want to watch from the bleachers. Right? So, that's what I think of Brazil. I have reasons to not to be here tonight. But I'm here. Because what really matters for me at the end of the day is not the money. It's the friends that I'm making. It sounds biased, but it's not, I promise you. It's the friends that I'm making. Ask any American friend that I have for you to see what they say. So that's what we are, who we are. We love the human relations, right? The other things you can find anywhere. And believe me, I went to college and I studied. My course was basically international. Even the books were in English. The classes were in Portuguese, but the literature had to be read in English. There are so many researches, so many studies that say Brazilians are one of the few people who, when immigrate, they have plans to come back. Okay? And then again, generally speaking, they normally return. This is so true that when Brazil was very good in 2006, something like this, things were really blowing up in the country. We had a lot of reverse migration from the United States to Brazil, Brazilians coming back home. I have seen so many articles about this, so many reports. So they were there to make money. Ask, why are you in the United States? Because of our culture. They don't even speak English. Because of the money. Because life is easier, financially speaking. Because you can get a car faster. You can get a house faster. Ask them if they want to come back. If they say no, they're looking at politics. Normally they say, oh, I miss that land. I miss the people. I miss going out with my friends. Talking too much, I'm sorry. Josh is saying, yeah, nobody's perfect. The only individuals that are perfect are always going to be robots and maybe your God, if that's what you believe in. Yes, my God. My God is perfect. Thank you. I love that Brazilians are very eager to help with the language, with directions, any way they can. They are genuine in all they do. Something, Tisha, thank you. Something I noticed, guys, when you travel abroad, depending on the country, you are very mistreated for being a foreigner. It's like you're traveling to the country, you're spending your money, and you're seen as an enemy. You're making things flow in the country. You're leaving your dollars, your euros in the country, and you're seen as an enemy. Right? That's something I don't understand. Never understood. In Brazil, when you say you're a foreigner, I dare you to find a person who mistreats you because you're a foreigner. Only if he is politically inclined. For example, if he's a leftist and believes the United States is the empire that explores Brazil, and he will mistreat. But it's not that common. Even those guys. Foreigners are welcome in Brazil. That's funny, you know. I've heard when you go to Paris, you're mistreated because you don't speak French. Wow, do the French speak Portuguese when they come here? Wagner Cosme da Silva, my great Wagner, how are you, buddy? Wagner is my English student, my English language student. How are you, Wagner? Thanks for being here. Hey, Mark. Thanks for inviting me, but I'm late. Ah, man, don't worry about it. We're here. Remember, guys, every Mondays and Fridays from 6:30 to last Friday I extended until 8. So who knows? I think today is gonna be the same because the conversation is really cool. Thank you all for this. Thank you all, each and every one of you. I'm gonna thank you at the end, but each and every one of you, thank you for being here. You could be doing anything else, and you're here with me. Thank you. Don't get anything I say as an offense, because I love you all, each and every one of you. You guys are very special. You make this channel work, the gears work. Without you guys, this doesn't make sense. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Muito obrigado. Falando em português, porque hoje é o dia da língua portuguesa. Today is the day of the Portuguese language. Oh, before I forget, ta-da-da. I love English, but Portuguese is also very beautiful. Can't forget, right? A lot of people are most often looking for basically what Rio de Janeiro is known for when they come to Brazil. Yeah, I hope you're not talking about what I'm thinking, but yes, there are some things that we are famous for, and it's a very bad image. But I can blame the government for that as well, right? Because the way that things are sold. Josh is saying that the Amazon forest, alongside with the Cerrado and Pantanal, is probably also the biggest reason why Brazil is relatively and culturally isolated. Who agrees with Josh? Raise your hand. Josh, I have a different opinion. One of the reasons we are isolated from the others, other than the history, if you take a look at the history, you will understand. But one of the reasons why we are isolated is this: the language. We don't share the same background. And historically, the Spanish competed against the Portuguese. And that competition crossed the ocean and arrived in our continent. Just like you teach your kid to be hateful, your kid is going to be hateful. So the Spanish and the Portuguese clashed while doing their navigations, and they brought to us. So we speak Portuguese. We are the only country in South America who speaks Portuguese. And this is definitely one of the things, or not the only, but one of the things that isolated us from the others. We don't have that identity. Language, what is a language actually? Identity. Okay? Sounds a lot like the Italians. Yeah, Charles, because as you know, we have had a mass immigration from Italians to Brazil. I know a lot of Italians. I have many students that are Italian citizens. Believe me, they're Paulistas. It's funny because when I look at a Paulista, I see them divided in three or four: Japanese, Spanish, Portuguese, Italians. You're either Italian, or at the table you can have an Italian last name talking to a Spanish last name, a Portuguese last name, and a Japanese last name. Everybody together having fun, you know? Italians live with the intention of returning to Italy one day, and they immigrate for the exact same reasons. Perfect. Perfect. Brazil is the only country I've been to where I was invited to a barbecue by someone working the checkout counter at a supermarket. That's who we are. And the funny thing, this is so unrealistic for you guys, foreigners, that you guys think we're trying to con you. Because when I lived on Adoque Lobo Street during the pandemic, a little before the pandemic, there was a couple of Americans, right? A guy and a girl. I think they were from Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. And they were trying to get one of those Itaú bicycles. I approached them because I saw they were having a hard time figuring out everything because it was written in Portuguese, thanks to Itaú. And then I offered my help. The guy was a little, I don't know. He was a little afraid. Maybe, I don't know, he thought I was trying to con him and I said, and I was with Tali and Manu. And Manu was just 4 years old at the time, 5, something like this. So that's who we are. I just wanted to help. But the funny thing is, because I knew he would feel like this, I didn't want to go, but my wife said, no, come on, help him, you speak the language. She was the one who pushed me, The Amazon forest are tourist attractions, but nobody in Brazil wanted to settle on them. And it's part of the reason why most people in Guyana, Suriname live in one city each. Yeah, and the Amazon, if you look at Amazonas, the state of Brazil, of the north, we have the Manaus, right? The capital. The capital is very advanced. They have their own industry with almost zero tax, I guess, for the products that are produced. Um, but yeah, look, it's surrounded by vegetation, which is really good for the world, you know? You can always get gringoed. To me, that's being mistreated. But what do you mean, get gringoed? Uh, like people call you gringo? Is this? They give you the name gringo? You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. I didn't know that about Jay-Z. Gaúchos in southern Brazil share deep cultural roots with Argentina and Uruguay. Same food, clothes, and traditions. Borders are open and connections are strong. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. But you gotta see another aspect, right? The exchange is very big. Maybe the other peoples from above, they don't want to do the same. Or because we're talking about the states of, okay, if you get Amapá and stuff, okay, but if you get Para and Amazonas, these two states are too big. So you have and then Josh is right, because and yes, he's always been right from the beginning, never said otherwise, because this is one of the reasons, but not the only. Okay, not the only reason. I think the language is more. But in the case of the North region, it's too far. I think Porto Alegre is close, or maybe you have more cities, or the access to these cities are easier from Uruguay. And also, they go to Uruguay very much. And remember, Uruguayans and Argentinians love Brazil and love the Brazilians, so they're always here. They're always crossing the border, okay? If you doubt, or if you don't believe me, spend a vacation in Santa Catarina for you to see. I was there for a New Year celebration. My God, I felt like I was in Buenos Aires, you know? Travel Tales, how are you, Tales? Everything okay? I have been to a few places in northeast Brazil, but nothing coming to what I saw in Rio. It's the most beautiful I ever seen. The landscape is spectacular. Tales, I agree with you, man. I haven't visited many places of my country. Too bad. There are so many that I'd like to visit and I haven't. But for me, Rio is probably the most beautiful city in terms of nature in the whole world. Too bad we don't have the seriousness of our authorities, of our administrations to make things work there. Because that place is a gem. Two things I wanted. I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted Rio to be the capital of Brazil. Still be, not Brasilia. Because Brasilia was a way to put the management away from the population. So they could do anything. They're far away from us. In Rio, they are like a bus distance. We could go protest in front of the capital, in front of the houses, right? So I wanted it to still be the capital. Second thing, I wanted them to take a better care of the population in terms of security and everything else. If that happened, I would live in Rio. Actually, when I got married to Tali, I was finishing my university course. I was graduating. I told her, let's go to Rio. I'd like to go for a master's degree there, because I wanted to study international political economics. That was the area that I fell in love inside the university, inside college. And the best one was in Rio, Flamengo Beach. So I wanted to go there. I wanted to live there, and I wanted to live this coastal life. I've already told you. My idea, I love São Paulo and everything the city offers. But my idea was to live close to the beach. That would be amazing for me. Looking at my daughter and say, let's go to the beach. And that guy, a carioca, even suggested, hey, why don't you come here and live here? Because if you did, your channel would blow up. Probably your channel doesn't blow up because it's in São Paulo. If it were in Rio, he said that to me. You know? I would live in Rio if they had these things that I told you. I attribute Brazil's relative cultural isolation to the geography because of how harsh it must have been to settle there. Yes, and how getting past these biomes Brazil had is even difficult. I agree, Josh. Josh, you're a very smart guy. I invite you to. You probably do, right? Read our history. I think you're gonna fall in love. I have plans to make videos about history here on the channel. Let's see, but with the tight schedule that I have, guys, everything that you receive, believe me, on your computer there from my channel is with a lot of hard work. Believe me, because it's really hard, you know. But I'd like to have more time and post, for example, how the Bandeirantes explore. That this group of explorers, they went all over Brazil, discovering places, you know. Amazing story. Brazil has an amazing story. I had an episode like that when I was at Galeão Airport, just landed in Rio, and this kid was simply trying to help me to get the Uber pickup line. I hadn't felt bad. And I'm paying more than a local. This happens a lot at Copacabana when you go to the barracas. They know you're a gringo. You're getting charged more. Yeah, there's a name for that, corruption. My opinion. But I don't know if it will make you feel better, Charles. One year, I don't remember when, don't remember exactly, 2000 and something, 2006, don't remember. I went to Rio with my sister and her family, so her 3 kids, her husband, and I, for the new year, because I knew Rio very well and they didn't. It was their first time, so I guided them through the city. But I got really sick during the trip. I got some kind of viruses that I couldn't stand up. So bad I was. And I was in Rio, you know. And my medical insurance, I think, was just a local. It was not a Brazil one. So I went I paid the doctor's appointment at the hospital. I went to a private hospital. And I paid the price that I had to pay. And then I went to a drugstore with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is a sergeant from the São Paulo police. So we went to the drugstore and I asked specifically for the medication that I had, the prescription. And the guy heard my accent. Because, yes, Paulistas and Cariocas speak very differently. Paulistas will say, for example, there's a very funny sentence that we say, esqueci meu lápis na esquina da escola. Esqueci meu lápis na esquina da escola. Which means I forgot my pencil at the corner of the school. Cariocas will say, esqueci meu lápis na esquina da escola. Esqueci meu lápis na esquina da escola. So they shh very much, like the Portuguese. The guy heard my accent, And the price went from 9 reais to 43 bucks. But my brother-in-law was by my side. And he has this thing with dealing with people because he's a police officer. He was a sergeant. I mean, he knows people. He knows when people are people, you know? So I paid and we left the drugstore, but I remember very clearly he looked at me and said, "Mark, give me just a second. Let's cross the street and go to the other drugstore." "Why?" "Come with me." And then we went to the other drugstore just across the street. And we asked, "How much is this medication, please?" And the guy said, $9.90. But with this discount, $8.50. "Okay, thank you very much." And then we crossed back to the drugstore. And he said, "Hey, you served my brother-in-law, right? Okay, call your manager, please." And the guy blushed. "Call your manager now." And the guy called the manager and I said, "Look, my brother-in-law is dying here. He's very sick. He needed this medication. Your employee charged 43 bucks for a medication that cost $8.50 with a discount across the street. Can you explain me why?" No. "Is this my accent?" "No, sir." "I think it's my accent. It's because I'm from São Paulo, right?" No. Okay. "Look, do you know I have jurisdiction for the city of Rio as well? Okay, I can call the authorities and close your drugstore because of that." No. "So the minimum you're going to do is give me the money back. And we don't talk about it." So yes, it happened to me. And I'm not even a gringo. I'm not a foreigner. Too bad there are very bad people everywhere. Rio is no different. But I can also tell you good stories. Like I was going on Rio-Niterói bridge. And there was a huge traffic to cross to the other side. And I gave a space for a woman to go in. Because the lane that she was ending. So she had to turn to mine. And people were not letting. And I did. I let her go in. What did she do? When I got to the booth, the toll booth, the guy said, "You can pass. The car ahead paid for you." So we have good and bad people everywhere. You know, I had a very big problem with the guy from the drugstore, but at the same time I had good examples with so many other cariocas. There are so many other cases, if I tell you, you know, good cases, I mean. No, I think Rio as the capital, Josh, was more elegant, was more accessible, even for you to protest, for you to show the authorities we are here. You know, like why are you gonna be away from the people you rule? Are you afraid of anything? So, of course, there are people living in Brasilia, but many people say that. There is a theory that says they went to Brasilia to escape from the protest of the population. Because Rio is so close, we could have 10 million people in front of their palace in a minute. You know what I mean? But it was elegant. At least when they were the capital, times are different, but it was elegant. It was very nice, you know? And come on, let's compare the nature in Rio with the nature of Brasilia. Doesn't make sense, right? My last trip to Rio, I went to Maricá, but at night. Heavy irrigation. That's true. Yes, we call it getting gringoed or paying the gringo tax. Yes. Cerrado has always been dry. Okay. I can understand a Paulista a lot better than a Carioca. Charles, it's funny because Charles knows my students, right? Charlie knows, for example, Jonathan. Charlie knows Neil and Kevin, right? And these guys are my students, my friends as well. They go to Rio all the time and they say, Mark, I understand your Portuguese much better now. So you created us a problem. Of course, they're kidding. They understand the Cariocas. But they say that the Paulista accent for them is clearer now. But one thing that I try to, a care that I try to take is, I try to be careful not to only addict my students to my accent. So I try to show other things as well, like videos from Cariocas, videos from the Northeast. I'm always sending things for them because they need to have this open, right? I don't even know how did Brasilia manage to survive from wildfires even since the region. I don't know, Josh. I never heard of wildfires in Brasilia, man. If they have existed, it hasn't been reported for us here. I don't know. The only thing I didn't like about Rio was the beach vendors raising the prices once they found out. Yeah, that's crazy. That's just crazy. So my recommendation is when you go out in Rio or anywhere, go to a place where you can see from the menu, right? Normally restaurants or snack bars. Because you can see the menu, the price is there. Why are they going to charge you more if the price is there? And pay attention. But I had that bad experience with Rio. But I told my brother-in-law, I said, we're not going to let this get in the way of our excitement for the city. Because there are so many good people. Like, I couldn't forget this woman that paid the toll for me. She didn't have to. I did want to help, that's all. I let her in because that was the right thing to do. It was not her fault that the toll in front of her was closed. She needed to change for the other lane where I was. So I also remember a guy. I was taking my wife at the time, my girlfriend, to Búzios, Tali, for the first time. And because Búzios is really beautiful. If you guys don't know, I recommend it. Especially if you have a relationship. It's very romantic. It's amazing, amazing. So I remember stopping at the gas station and I asked this Carioca, he was also filling in his car. And I said, buddy, I don't remember how to get to the road to Rio, buddy. I came here a long time ago. And he said, man, it's very simple. There is a sign there, that Carioca way. There's a sign there. It's very simple. Oh, you can't miss it. And then he looked at me, tell you what, I have to go past this. You can follow me. I will take you there. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's okay. I insist. Follow me, please. I did follow the guy. And then when we were getting to the road, he put the arm out and did this. Like, go in there. And I did. I thanked him. This is what I see in Rio as well. A lot of good people. A lot of good people. Luis Amadi, he put a message and deleted, but I read, hi Mark, hello Luis, how are you? Are you Michelle and Fernando's son? If you are, let me know. I think you are. Guys, do you have any other questions you want to ask me? I didn't read the news for you guys tonight. Look how good it has been lately, more than in the other days. I didn't have to read the news a single time because you guys You just gave me the topics. Thank you very much for all this. I expect it to be like that always. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Just reminding you, please leave your subscription, please. Subscribe in case you haven't. Also, smash the like button. You know that without the like button, it doesn't work, okay? Go ahead, smash the like button. Help us grow more and more. Remember, if I get popular, it's good for you as well, because you're going to have better content. You're going to have more interesting live streams. So I need your help, and you're going to see a happy mark. So please, a happier mark. So please help me. Smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the other channel. I'm going to write here again. In case you haven't subscribed, help me there, please, even if you don't want to learn Portuguese. There you go. The name is Portuguese with Mark Saint on YouTube. Go there, subscribe, help me. Remember, if you watch the videos both here and there, it's always helpful for me when you click on the like button, when you leave a comment, whatever you want to write, good, nice, okay, thank you, whatever you want to write. What is important is to leave a comment. Booze is another big Argentinian's favorite vacation spot, I heard. Tails, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. At least when I went, I don't remember to have seen Argentinians. I have seen lots of Americans in Búzios. And it was the beginning of my let's go out the state trips. I was pretty young. I remember seeing an American when I was with Tali in this trip. He was bald and big, strong, and he was talking on the phone with a person from New York. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I understood English, so I got everything he said, right? And he was talking on the phone, and he was saying, no, you gotta come here. Now, if you come to Brazil, you're gonna fall in love. No, this place is, oh my God. And I remember he was on the phone like this, and he had a big tattoo written Brazil, but tattoo really. Brazil, and then under Búzios. And I said, wow, the guy is completely in love, insane in love with Brazil. No, you gotta come to my house here. You're gonna love it. It's right on the beach. Amazing. So I didn't see Argentinians. I saw a lot of Americans. Good evening, Mark and chat room people. Good evening, German. Thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for being part of the BU Nation. Speaking of the BU Nation, guys, support the channel. Guys, there are categories. I don't mean to beg. I think it's ugly this, but if you feel like helping the channel grow and produce more, help us. I really need your help. I explained last live stream. The money is for me to go to a party that needs to be paid, or the transportation, or the trip to another state that you guys want to see on the channel. So there are categories that you pay $2.99 if I'm not mistaken, which is the category tourist, residents, and citizens. Check out the communities later if you feel like helping. Thank you. If you can't, I appreciate the same way. Just make sure you binge watch the videos and leave your comments always. Josh, since you mentioned that while learning to speak English, you never bothered to visit Guyana. No, I didn't say that I never bothered. And Brazil is culturally isolated. I wonder how you got Brazilians to visit. Look, I didn't say I never bothered to visit Guyana. I said I didn't have the conditions. It's very different. Very different. Words have power, Josh. It's very different. I didn't have the conditions. But if I did, Guyana was not the first place to think of. Because it's not popular for us. It's just cultural. Right? It's just cultural. A lot of people don't know much about Guyana. I myself don't know very much, unfortunately. I want to learn, right? Did you hear about the American vlogger that got deported back to the United States from Fortaleza? He went there while he Really? I didn't hear anything about it. If you have any links, send me later on Instagram. Guys, I have the profile on Instagram. Please follow me there. Brazil Unsubtitled as well. Okay? Yeah, they are taking this thing very seriously now. Yeah, remember, man, people do visit. Then again, don't try to insert all the Brazilians, to put all the Brazilians into a cup of water. We're talking about a very vast country with people don't behave the same. Not because the Paulistas don't go that the Paraenses won't go. It's closer to them. Or the Capixabas, or the Cearenses. They will go because the country is big. Yeah, I agree with you, Billy. If you didn't have a visa, why try? Garvar, are you serious? Philly Dom was the guy kicked out of Brazil? I'm shocked. Are you serious? I have a video with Philly Dom. How many of you have seen this? I met this guy one day because he invited me for an interview. He was in Brazil. He said, look, I'm a YouTuber. I have seen your channel. How would you like to give me an interview? And I accepted. He was here in São Paulo. He's a very nice person. He treated me very well. If you guys haven't seen this video, I recommend you to go watch. Have you seen this video? Philly Dom was kicked out of Brazil. I'm baffled. I'm going to send him a message. My wife is going to be baffled as well because she liked him. He's a good person. He treated me really well. If you watch the interview that I gave for his channel, it was very nice, man. We walked in a shopping mall and he asked me 20 questions. It was very good. Wow. I need to send him a message. So you knew this because of his channel, or this happened to be in newspapers? Josh, the name is Philly Dom, as Garver has put. Take a look. At Philly Dom. Let me see if I can find his channel here. Wow, I'm baffled, seriously. How many of you have seen the interview that I gave to him? It was some time ago, maybe 2 years ago. Wow. If he had asked me, I would have told him. Deported, I can see the video now. Denied entry, Brazil. Wow. I may never go back to Brazil. I got deported. That's not true, guys. I have to tell him, hey, no, you're overreacting. I think Brazilians are more flexible than the United States for that. Check it out. Oh, wow, I'm surprised. Seriously, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just shocked to hear. That's why then I saw him in Argentina. My God, he's such a nice guy, man. No, I don't think he will have the problem of never being able to return. No, I don't think so. Oh, he has one of the latest videos 2 weeks ago was in Argentina. Maybe this is the reason. I know Argentina was before. It was a day ago. My goodness. I'm gonna show you the video, guys, that I gave an interview to him. And you guys can watch later, if you want, of course. He produces so many videos, it's gonna be hard to find. If I put like Mark, let's see. Mark. Yeah, I found it. I typed my name here. Check it out, guys. Oh, take a look. This is the name of the video. This is me on his channel. So if you guys want to watch, the name is Brazilian Visa with @Brazil.unsubtitled. Filidom em Liberdade in São Paulo Shopping Mall. Watch this video, it was very nice. Wow, I'm surprised. Filidom. One time I went to Fortaleza, when I went to leave the airport, this woman took my bottle opener. She said it was a dangerous weapon. This is after I went through 3 airports. Wow. He didn't have the paperwork. He was in Brazil illegally. Yeah, this doesn't happen randomly, okay? There's always a reason for this to happen. He made a video about it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Because it's a surprise for me, you know? Billy, did you just become a member of my channel? If you did, thank you very much, buddy. Wow. Thank you. Apparently you did, right? Okay, he posted the video yesterday. Since the Google research for that incident claimed that Kilmara Brego Garcia? What are you talking about? It's a clickbait title, of course. I kind of figured, buddy. It's the type of video that gets you. Yeah, and he's not wrong, right? Sorry, YouTubers have to play the game. Otherwise, we become insignificant, and you know. So totally understand this. So he went to Argentina because he couldn't go to Brazil, according to Tales. Yeah, I kind of figured. But then he waited a little to post this video, right? Because he has a lot of videos from Argentina before. He was stopped and had to go back to Miami. Wow. That's Filidom, not Kilmar. Filidom, yeah, like what the Google research thought I was talking about. He had a ton of notice to get a visa, and it's been a month since that took effect. And I believe Hillbilly, he follows my channel regularly. Because the other day, 3 weeks ago, he sent me a message. Mark, I'm in Brazil. And I said, oh, cool. Maybe this time around I could interview you. He didn't answer. So I kept waiting, and he didn't say anything else. So I figured he was busy, right? So I didn't insist. That's like not wearing a raincoat and being like, man, I got soaked. Now I'm so amazed. So Filidom left to Brazil because he did not get the visa. Yes, he came without the visa, Josh. To both. I will cancel Patreon, though. Thank you very much, Billy. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you for supporting the channel like this. It means a lot. So how easy it is to get the visa, and what are the special rules visa holds in Brazil? Buddy, I got some videos about it. I think you can take a look at them if you don't mind, because they explain in details the things that you have to do and everything. And I even invited a friend of mine, also a student of mine from California, Jason, to give an interview for you guys and explain what it was like for him to get the visa, because he dates a Brazilian girl from the Northeast, from Rio Grande do Sul. So I invited him to be there and talk to you guys and describe the steps and how long it would take. It was pretty smooth. I think it took him 24 hours after the payment checked in. So it's not hard at all, and it's not expensive, I guess. I think it's $80. Something like that. Yes, look, that's what Hillbilly's saying. Take a look. You paid $80 and you pay $80 and you send them your pic. basically what you have to do. They ask you to answer to a few questions. Have you ever been to Brazil? Do you intend to stay? We even compared because Jason is well versed in visas for the United States as well. Even though he doesn't work with that, he just learned to help his girlfriend on the process, right? Because she had to apply for hers to visit him. So he compared like the questions he needed to answer for the Brazilian visa and the questions Brazilians answer for the American visa, and also all the headache, all the documents that Brazilians get to go to the United States, and all the long lines and everything, and the time to receive the visa and to schedule the interview. Of course, we can't compare, right? Because there are more Brazilians wanting to go to the U.S. than the other way. So, but he was just assuring the guys that it was not something to make you give up on the trip. And by the way, I follow him on his Instagram. He had a blast, not only because of the girl, but he visited a lot of beautiful beaches in Rio Grande do Norte, Fortaleza. So imagine a visa stopping him from that. That would be crazy. I guess there is a waiting period. He said he got the visa. 20 days later. Maybe. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Americans, I believe, are now the second people that visits Brazil the most. Let me give you the right information, just a second. Argentina is the main country that comes to Brazil, according to Google, followed by the United States of America, so it's in second place, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay. In 2024, Argentina was responsible for sending 1,960,182 visitors to Brazil, while the United States of America sent 728,537 tourists. Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay also contributed significantly with the international tourism in Brazil, with the 653,895, 465,020, and 388,464 visitors respectively. So the first number I said was Chile, the 465 was Paraguay, and the 388,000 Uruguay. So the number of Americans I think the number of Americans is increasing. At least it was before the visa returned. I've already given my opinion about this. I think we should definitely lift the visa for the United States, because it just increases the number of you guys coming. And don't get me started. But they charge. Okay, I know, but I've already also discussed that here. Brazilians will go to live, to Argentina because he couldn't. Okay, let me see who I'm missing here. Apparently, more English-speaking tourists to Brazil are from the United States than from Guyana, despite Guyana being so closer. Yes, buddy. I don't know how many Guyanese come to Brazil. Definitely don't know. They are important, okay? I'm just saying that the numbers don't appear. I'm not sure we are their destination. I know a lot of other countries prefer to go somewhere else. The Brazilian summer, Florianopolis feels almost Argentina. Yes, Thousands of tourists crossed the border to enjoy its beaches, turning the city into a seasonal culture mix. Yes, and look, as I said at the beginning, Garvar, this is good. This is welcome. And I'm gonna tell you, there are things that if we did in their land, we would be considered rude and maybe offensive. Like they get together and they start chanting the songs that they create to provoke us in soccer. I was in the beach one day when that happened. A bunch of Argentinians chanting, provoking Brazilians. But the funny thing, the Brazilians didn't take it the hard way. They laughed at it because why are you going to fight because of soccer? And that's the beauty of the thing. I think I love the new generations because I was thinking about that the other day. Allow me to say that. Um, Back in the beginning of the 90s when I was just 10 years old, the soccer players, they wanted to kill the other, like Brazilians and Argentinians. Like I remember Canidia, I remember Maradona, I remember Goicoechea in the the goalkeeper. We wanted to kill one another, and I remember Romário, Bebeto, Careca, Branco, Dunga, Tafarel. They really hit the others. Nowadays, we don't see that very much. We had a recent game in Argentina, we lost to 4-1. The guys were very respectful. It was inside Buenos Aires. This couldn't be imagined before because this was a war zone for us in the past. So new generations, they come with a different view. That's what I love. I think sometimes we need to renew, right? Renew the thoughts. People that come and they argue and they question the status quo. Why? Why do we have to hate them? Why? Because we play soccer. So this is the beauty of the thing. I think the more Argentinians in Brazil, the better. The more Brazilians in Argentina, the better. And the same for Uruguay, for Paraguay, for Colombia. It's stupid. You just have this identity problem when you don't have a living with these people. They're our neighbors. We need to live together. We need to go to each other's countries. The funny thing, Mercosur, you guys might be aware of what it is. It's our international bloc here, our continental bloc. Mercosur has the purpose of bringing the peoples together, right? I can go to Argentina with my... nowadays, I don't know, because it's Milei, the president. He's a little, too far right for my taste. He's blocking a few Brazilians. I don't know why. But normally, you can go to Argentina with your document, your ID. You don't need the passport. You don't need the passport to go to Uruguay or to go to Paraguay because they are Mercosur, And the same for them. They can come here without a passport. And they can stay here for a while, I guess, and we can stay there for a while. So... football is the international language. It connects people across broader cultures. Yes, Brazil had at least 2,500 living in Brazil, in case you're wondering. Very interesting. 2,594 people from Guyana. Thanks, Josh. Most of them settle in the states, in the northern regions of Brazil, and most of them... Interesting. The cat is begging to open the door. Yes, Javier Milei, he has some crazy ideas like, I even heard, you're not going to believe this, I even heard he wanted to build a wall in Argentina to block immigration. I prefer not to believe this is true, but I heard some media saying that. But Milei, I don't know. He thinks, maybe he's trying to copy Donald Trump, but he thinks, he's having a lot of immigration in Argentina. That's the problem with their economy. Like the Brazilians are the problem of their economy, because there are a few Brazilians or a lot of Brazilians that go to to Argentina to study medicine. So they were having a hard time there, the treatment. That's crazy. Guys, it's been 2 hours already that I've been here talking to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for spending those 2 hours with me. Josh is here from the very first beginning. I really appreciate it. I gotta go, or tomorrow I won't have voice for me to teach my classes. Just want to remind you, smash the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel in case you haven't. Consider becoming a member. You can pick up a cheap category. You can pick up the cheapest one. You're gonna be helping us tons. So the idea is all the money is invested back on the channel to make things even better, for you guys to have the best quality cameras, for you guys having me almost every day, or not every day, who knows, maybe every day, producing videos for you guys, visiting places that I normally don't have access because of the money. So consider that, and also smash the like button for every video you watch. Leave your comments on the videos when you are watching here on the channel. This already helps a lot, okay? Interaction with the channel helps us a lot. Thank you very much. I'm leaving. I appreciate each and every one of you. Josh, Hillbilly, Garvar, Geneviero, he was here as well. Wagner, Teos. There are so many people. Don't want to forget any one of you. German, thank you very much. Luis Amadi, who just said hello and deleted the message. Charles Jones, thank you very much. Tisha was here at the beginning. Thank you, Tisha. Everybody, basically, everybody who was here. You guys are the best. Without you, these live streams wouldn't make sense. Okay? Thank you so much. I hope to see you all again, guys. On Friday. Friday at 6:30 as well. Because you guys have been so wonderful. I am always expanding the time. Tisha, thank you very much. Obrigado, Josh. Josh is a big brother, always with us. Guys, Friday will be here. Think about what you want to ask during the week and bring me the question. Let's discuss. Look, I didn't even have to read one single time in the newspaper today. That was amazing. That was fantastic. If I have to, no problem. But that means you guys participated very much. So you're helping the channel already. You make this thing, blow up like this. Thank you very much. Have a great night, okay? I'm going to fight hard for you guys to have your video on Wednesday and on Friday. I'm not going to promise, but I'll try, okay? Because this week has been really hard. Thank you very much. God bless you all, and I will see you next time.
start.